My mom's gonna walk in a few seconds. No, I'm doing a project. Let me set the scene. Sorry, I'm editing now. Ignore the stock images that is screaming at you from the middle of the screen. Thank you. You're up in Utah, camping in the Mojave Desert. The land is vast, except for a few low woody shrubs, which keep catching your eye in the darkness of the night. The stars are bright and beautiful. It's probably the best night sky you've ever seen. It's 9:40, and the coolness of the night starts setting in. It's time to begin making a fire. You crouch down, you reach into your bag, you find kindling, flint, and a knife. Once it's all laid out in front of you, something catches your eye. It's a coyote. It's about 20 feet away, and it's staring right into your eyes. You notice how disheveled it looks. Its ears are ripped up, and its ribs are protruding from its body. It starts creeping towards you. It's slow, almost rocky when it walks, looking as if it's wounded. Logically, you know you could fight it, right? It's weaker than you. You knew that there were animals out here, that's why you brought so much stuff. You're prepared. Panic starts setting in, and you shoot to grab the knife that's right beneath you. But your arms don't move. Your eyes don't even look down at the knife. You're stuck. Paralyzed. Frozen. Sorry. You begin to accept your fate as you realize the legend was true. There are skinwalkers out here, and you're being paralyzed by one right now. Dun dun dun. Skinwalkers. They're a lot more misunderstood than your average monster. They're in a variety of different types of media. There's shows, there's books, there's movies, there's social media posts. I've compiled a few sources. Some of them, how skinwalkers are seen now, recreation of skinwalkers, a book, an article. From these, I discovered that skinwalkers originate from Navajo culture. Navajo? Okay, so I was saying it right this whole time. Skinwalkers originate from Navajo culture. Skinwalkers are believed to be witches or immoral medicine men or women who have attained the highest priestly level but have chosen to use their power to cause injury and suffering to other people. In present times, they're portrayed more simply, transforming into everyday animals. But in the future, they'll be more widely seen and royally mess this part up. They will be reverted back to the original legend. The legend will be put forth more rather than a changed story. If you ever heard of them from someone, they'd probably talk about like, that deer looked at me weird, or like, a weird experience with an animal that looked like a little cryptic. A lot of people claim to have skinwalker experiences, but obviously, we don't know what's true or what's not. There's a lot of TikToks about it, but I'm not going to take those as fact because they're TikToks. So ignore that I even said that. This one source that was like said multiple times is The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, but it's a 7-season show. Sorry for not putting that on my to-do list. I had 2 weeks to do this project. I don't know when I would watch a 7-season show. But I did watch one supernatural episode called All Dogs Go to Heaven. I watched the entire episode. It was like basically fluff with like 3 actual usable pieces of evidence and a lot of cringy lines.
You like to play with your food. Roll over, Lucky. Speak. These guys who turned me, they're ruthless. Sam, not helping.
Sam. According to a history article called What is a Skinwalker? Facts about the Native American legend. Skinwalkers are shape-shifting evil witches with the ability to take possession of animals and other people. These ominous abilities are alluded to the Navajo phrase.
You should try Babbel, the only Yinaldlushi.
Alluded in the Navajo phrase Yinaldlushi, meaning with it he goes on all fours. Essentially, you know, skinwalkers weren't really represented in the media for a while. The only things that I have for how they used to be represented is the legend. My knees are coming up. It's more comfortable. Sorry. Skinwalkers were just basically like, what is it called? Mouth to mouth? Word of mouth. Holy shit. Shapeshifters legend was basically like word of mouth, usually by people who live in these areas that are said to have skinwalkers in them. So like Navajo, Skinwalker Ranch, Desert, Appalachia. Appalachian Mountains, which by the way, end like right behind Jenna's house. Spooky. This is a scholarly source that I found called Freaky Folklore. The title is actually Freaky Folklore, Terrifying Tales of the World's Most Elusive Monsters and
We have N, which rhymes with pen. Next is Idgy, which sounds like igloo, followed by Mat, which rhymes with cat. And finally Ick, which sounds like ick. Now,
yeah, bars, girl! Enigmatic. Terrifying Tales of the World's Most Elusive Monsters and Enigmatic Cryptids. That was a joke. I know how to say enigmatic. not the other two things. This is written by Carmen Carrion. According to Navajo folklore, the Skinwalker is described as completely nude, save for a wolf or coyote hide. They are referred to as mutant. Nope. They are referred to as a mutant form of the relevant animal by some Navajo people. Perhaps the skin is only a mask. Little dudes with little masks on. They're described as nude, right? They're always naked. Little freaks. And they're like really not cool witches. Thumbs down. They're like not good witches. That's how they used to be represented. Bada bing, bada boom. Like that analytical analyzing. This is a giant quote. Again! According to freaky folklore, Skinwalker can take on the appearance of any animal, such as a wolf, coyote, dog, fox, bear, deer, or owl. Navajo mythology claims that Skinwalkers have the ability to read people's thoughts. They also have the capacity to produce whatever human or animal noise they want. In order to entice victims from the security of their homes, a Skinwalker may impersonate a family member or a baby's cry. Skinwalkers cannot move naturally while taking on an animal shape, making them easily distinguishable from real animals by both humans and other animals. For some reason, even a skilled Skinwalker is unable to achieve the ideal animal gait or produce proportionally accurate sized animal tracks. Jump scare on back over here. They can read your thoughts. They can produce a little baby cry. When they're in animal form, they're like little freaky little animals. They don't look real. That's freaky. That's how Skinwalkers were represented in past times, past media, because they weren't really represented in media. This is the legend. This is what's going on. And, ooh, spooky, scary. Next part. Woo! How are Skinwalkers represented in the media now? Well, this guy, his name is Dan Simmons. He wrote a little article, Shapeshifters and Skinwalkers, the writer's curse of negative capability. This is what negative capability means. I'll let you read that. Basically, like, asking hypothetical questions and stuff. One thing that he said in his article, finally, of course, it became really complicated when someone of strong personae. Come again?
Personae. That is personae of the play.
Personae? He has an accent.
Personae.
We're joking, right?
Watching, it sounds like personas.
Finally, of course, it became really complicated when some of the strong personae took over the personality of the person who had paid for the transplant, becoming a new form of the Walking Dead, alien presences in the form of another. Skinwalkers. What this guy is saying is there's people who are just taking over other people's like personalities and like their traits. That ain't cool. Now we're gonna get back to the fun stuff, which is Supernatural. In current media, I have a few clips from Supernatural. I'm just gonna like put them in here.
They can change anywhere, anytime. Skinwalkers infect you with a single bite. Otherwise, they're basically a werewolf cousin. Silver will drop them. They chow hard.
Skinwalkers bite you and they infect you and you become a Skinwalker. Instead of like going through the ranks of like, I'm unholy, I'm super holy, I'm just a Skinwalker. And I'm gonna bite you. And now you're a Skinwalker. Okay. Also, you kill them with a silver bullet. Silver anything. Their weakness is silver. They explode or something, man. I don't even know.
How are we supposed to get near something that can smell us 100 yards off?
They can smell you from 100 yards away. Thanks. Oh, and they're sleeper cells.
We're out there finding families, and once they take us in, we lay low. And we're waiting for the word. We get the signal, and we all turn on our families. We change them all in one night. 30 becomes 150. You're a sleeper cell.
Essentially, that was just one giant piece of evidence because I don't feel like thinking about anything else. Skinwalkers are represented completely different from the original lore. You can kill them with a silver bullet. They can smell you from 100 yards away, and they're sleeper cells. That's how they're represented in current media. Because of Supernatural or TikToks that I see or stuff like that, I actually think that the Supernatural version of Skinwalkers are not going to be carried over into the future, because if something originates from a legend, we don't really want to change the legend. I think people will just start like continuing on with the original lore. I think in media it'll be easier to like pull bits and pieces. So I think like the silver bullet thing might work, and the bite infecting thing, that is literally just like a horror movie right there. So I think that'll be carried over a little bit. That's what I think. So, to summarize, Skinwalkers used to be represented strictly by word of mouth, and by the legend. Now they're represented in media and changed entirely from the lore. But in the future, I think they'll be represented more like the original lore because people don't like to differentiate from that. Because if it ain't from the source, it ain't right. We've learned that. Supernatural hasn't, but they're above doing that. So that's my whole project. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, bye.